I'm so excited, you guys.
Hey guys.
So, Mike Wills, I love the tagline for you, Mike, that is kind of on the interwebs, is hockey player to oil painter.
Yeah.
Even though, like, in doing a little bit of research on you, you've been a painter for most of your life, like
Yep.
your entire life almost.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So it's really just kind of like an expansion of like what you've already been doing and how God kind of did a pivot a little bit.
Yeah.
But I have questions for you, as I mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
But as you guys know, for those that are on Facebook, how this works, you are able to chime in. Hi, Candace. Hi, Anais. I will wave at you guys. If you want to see Mike's face, you can go to my Facebook page. So you can meet me over there, because I know this sometimes gets awkward just looking at the side of my head. But yeah, so I have questions, but as you guys know, you are free to like jump in and ask any questions as we go along. We have about like roughly 45 minutes with Mike. And so we're going to kind of get into it. Let me pull up my questions, Mike. So I guess what really drew me to even want to interview you was a specific piece that I saw on Instagram. Like, I didn't even know like your faith journey or like anything. And so we'll talk about that piece later, because it's like one of your more recent pieces. By the way, are you in your studio now, or were you doing?
I am. Yeah. Actually, it's kind of like my studio with all my oil paints and stuff and my lights.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, that's the one. That's the
nice.
one.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I'm obsessed with, what's it called? That one.
I actually haven't named it yet, but so it's gonna, I kind of take a while with names and stuff. So it's, it's
that
gonna
one
be
is
cool.
fire, man.
Yeah,
that is
you.
like the juice is on it, man.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Hi, Candace. Are you good in Nashville? Please let me know. I love you. I miss you. Okay. So, Mike, can you share with us, your journey into faith? Like, how did God, specifically Jesus, become real?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I never, it's funny because I was never Christian. I never wanted to be, almost like at a young age, you kind of felt something was on your life. And you wanted to run away. So I completely thought to myself, well, I'm just going to do hockey and run with that and become this tough, egotistical person with, just like a warrior kind of thing. And, yeah, Jesus pretty much shot me down with that one. And
what?
Yeah. I got a scholarship to Merrimack College in Boston, and I was on a hockey scholarship there. And so like my life was going pretty well. Like some things happened throughout, like, throughout that season in my life where, I lost my roommate in college. He had a freak accident. He was hit by a car.
Wow.
So that turned me for a loop a little bit, was kind of shaken up. Stuff wasn't going right with hockey, where coaches are screaming at you, you're not playing, you're sitting, you're kind of figuring out your identity as a hockey player. And, you turn into this spiral that's just downward, right? You turn into drinking and drugs and sex and those things, and you go through a deep dark spiral. And I lost 4 more friends in 8 months in that period. And it was kind of one of my friends, one of my best friends, Walter, who he was cliff jumping on the rocks, and the wind blew him back in, and just some freak accidents happened. And I was at the funeral, and the EMS who revived him said, he said, like, no, let me go. I see him. I see him. And he's like, it's my time. And so that hit me pretty hard, because I had to bury Walter like that Friday. and then went out with my other friends Saturday night, and then pretty much found when the friend that I went out with committed suicide, and the next day on Sunday. So I had to bury 2 guys in 2 weeks, and then I had to go back to hockey in Boston. And at a point where I was such in a fog that I couldn't function, and my coaches were already mad at me for being so sensitive, and I always knew I had that artistic sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted me to conform and be part of like their system, and they just didn't really get that like you have an identity outside of hockey. And yeah, so I just fell deeper and deeper, and then luckily my Jordan Haywood, which is such an amazing guy, he's a hockey player as well. He was my captain, and he was a Christian, and he started these Bible studies. And I had so many questions with the whole fact that just trying to deal with my pain.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know where to turn to. So I kept kind of going to these Bible studies. I don't know why, and you were sober, not sober, and just trying to deal with some of the pain. And then like a light switched on. It was like, God has made everything that you loved. And like between hockey, art, music,
wow,
fashion, all those things, right? Your parents, he's made everything. So it kind of switched on, and he introduced me to some of these churches in the States. And then it was like, I walked in the door, and it felt like a train hit me and just right in the chest. And you could say it now that it's the Holy Spirit. Right. And then it hit me, and I just started weeping. And I started to give my life to Christ. And as much as it got great in that aspect, it got worse. So it was such a wild ride to come out of that, but it was so cool.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Dang, Mike, that's a lot. I want to, I also want to just say hi also in the midst of this story, because I know you guys jumped in right as he was in the heart of it. I love already, Mike, like your style, because you do not mince words. You were just like, yo, this is what happened. This is the real deal. Like you just came with the real already. So just thank you for being like really real and honest, because we appreciate that, and we need that. Sandy, I see you. Hello, Miss Sandy. Luann, I see you as well. Jury, welcome. We see you. If you guys have any questions, Luann asks, Mike, what team or teams plural did you play for?
Yeah, so I played for the Lindsay Muskies Junior A. Got the scholarship to Merrimack College in Boston. I actually played for Team Canada in 2008, and we won bronze. And then with all that kind of happening, I was let go / traded to Oswego State in New York. And so like, as much as I found Christ, I went on a mission trip to Latvia and played a couple of games over there with some buddies, other Christian guys that I was introduced to, and gave my life over there. And then I got completely just traded after that, and we went to Oswego. Wow. Yeah. And loved it there for 2 years, found a church. And then I played for the Macon Mayhem in Georgia, excuse me. And I played a year there in pro. And then I went over to Serbia, and played in Serbia for a couple months. And
wow.
So it was such a whirlwind of, I never got to the West Coast. I've always wanted to go to the West Coast, but yeah.
Nice. Hey, Sonia, we see you. Sonia, I see, oh gosh, a lot of you are just popping in right now. Dee, hi Dee. Good to see you. Thank you. Octavia. Hello, Miss Octavia. What's up? A good way to let me know that you guys are here and listening to this conversation is to simply like or love or whatever emotion you're feeling right now on the comments of this video, which is live on my Facebook page. Just to let us know that you're here. I will give you a shout out. And if you have a question, please leave it in the comments for Mike. And then, yes, by the way, you are in Toronto. Is that correct? Toronto, Canada?
Yes.
I'm like a horrible host right now. I'm like doing the worst job. So yes, he's in Toronto. Sonia, you're in wait, Sonia, are you in Toronto or I thought you were in Vancouver? Can you please specify in the comments below, please? Sorry, I cannot remember. Ursula, what's up, homie? You got the whole crew out here to see you, Mike. So
thanks. Yeah,
very exciting. And hello, all Instagram Live people. There was, when I was doing some research and listening to your interviews, and especially I was mentioning to you before the 700 Club interview, and then there was a 100 wow, words are hard. 100 Huntley Street interview that you did as well, and you had mentioned a bit in that interview too of like one of your best friends that had passed had said like, like you just shared with us right now, like let me go, and I'll show everyone else after this interview maybe, but I've been reading for the past maybe like few months this book called Imagine Heaven, which is incredible, and it is by a Christian author that is basically chronicling a variety of near-death experiences from like thousands of people across the globe, even those that are outside of the faith, and how similar like they see this man of light and just so much. So when I heard you say that, like I was like, I'm trying to not cry, like as I'm going to do this interview, because I'm trying to
trust
like
me.
real.
Like every time I say it I have to suck in tears too. It's still crazy. So.
Because I don't think we fully get it. And I feel like we're maybe getting, for those of us that are believers and that have had a taste of like the reality of Christ and the reality of Jesus. And like, I think we are being reminded of like how glorious like Jesus really is, and like how he's really enough. And like, he is the light of the world, and not just like as a slogan, like he's the light of the world, but like me spending like 3 months in this book, Imagine Heaven, and these descriptions of people that have tasted heaven or have experienced, being in that dimension and that realm, it kind of wrecks you. Like, I don't have any other language for it. And so I just felt like I had to just interview you in a way, just because I felt like it was like, oh, you are 1 degree away in a sense from this experience, but you also know, like, Holy Spirit, like, the presence of God. And so like, I feel like we can just kind of go there. This is like not even on my whole questions, but here we are. Sure. But like, I watched one of your clips of you painting, and you were playing worship music, and it was like one of the worship songs I would play for my youth group. I used to youth pastor years ago. And as you were painting, like, there was so much presence, like in the video clip. I was like, yo, I will leave a link for you guys to find the clip I was talking about later. And I just want to know kind of like, what is the process for you when you get to paint, and like, like, what's that like for you? Because it was incredible just to watch a small segment of that, and just to feel the presence of God in my room like that. And I'm just watching you, like, I don't paint. But I was like, yo, like, hi, Holy Spirit. Hello. Thanks for showing up.
It's my kind of time with him. I kind of, as much as people pray and do their kind of thing, and that's kind of where I talk to him, is maybe it's not through words, but it's through color or what I'm going through. There's been a numerous of times where I've put songs on and painted, and it completely wrecked me, right? Like, I'm letting go of whatever's inside, like all the venom or the burdens or the demons that I have, that he's pulling things out of me every time I paint and put him on. Like, it's so cool to see him work with me, because the fact that I'm a stubborn yet fighting spirit. So, and I know much people are very stubborn. A lot of people are stubborn, right?
All can relate. Yes, we can relate.
But he kind of just takes it like a little surgeon, how gentle he is, and he just takes it and kind of lifts it out of your heart. And it sometimes it hurts, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it brings you a joy cry or a painful cry, but he does pull things out of you that way for me. a lot through past pain. I'd have to say there's been, it felt like 27 years of pain before it got better, until I had like from the beginning of meeting him to restoration prayer a couple times to casting like things out of me, and those, those things that are real. And just because I'm a sensitive person, I can feel that around.
Yeah.
And I get those realms, you can feel them and see them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't really understand that when I was a kid. And that's why I was so like, when he called me to do this, it was like, I don't want this, right? I don't want any of this. And you kind of had a sense as a young kid, and you're like, nah, like I can't, like, I don't know how to grasp this.
Yeah.
And yet painting has transformed that into, when you put worship music on it, it's just him and you. Like, it's so cool. Like, you get to feel his presence there.
Yes. And we get to kind of feel the residue of like you sharing that very like special moment as you're painting, and then just with God. And that might be a completely new concept for some people that are just watching this for the first time. And I have friends that are in faith and friends that are not in faith. But like, you can still feel the residue. Like,
it almost like heightens the painting. It's pretty crazy, because there's some paintings that just don't turn out right. In my mind, I'm like, oh, that was a good fail. And then there's some that I put different music on. You're like, okay, that's decent. But then once like I put like, and I'm locked in with him, it's like these paintings turn out beautiful. And I can't, it just, and then when you see it in person, like there's many people that are like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then once you see them in person, you're like, wow, that actually has backing to it. Like there's something about that painting that draws me in, right? There's like a spirit behind that. And I'm like, it's Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, and mic drop, by the way. It's
I don't
didn't know.
I
love
that. Not tell like non-Christians, right? Like, it's like, yeah, it's it's got some weight to it, but like, if you only knew,
got some weight to it. I like that. No, for real. I also like you said the phrase, it was a good fail. I think that's what you just said. Like, when you can tell it's a good fail.
Yeah.
And so I actually, wow, like I really love that phrase, because I'm trying to get more and more comfortable with failing. And especially when it comes to when God is doing like this pivot in terms of like career, or, what you thought your life was going in this one direction. And then, skirt, like it's now going like in this other direction.
Yeah.
And like, how did you like process it? And P.S., I see your question, Sandy. You want to know what brought him into art. We will get there. You see me, you see how this is already going. But I'll let you answer Sandy's question, and then we'll kind of go back to how did you process, like when God gave you like the passion and dream for hockey, but then there was like this pivot, and like how, like, I don't know, what would you sort of like, what wisdom can you give us if we're trying to navigate that currently? So.
Sure. Yeah. So to answer her question, excuse me, I could draw before I could talk, kind of thing. So I was, my parents were a little worried about me that I couldn't speak. And so I used to draw things out and then show them what it was. So I always had that ability. It was God-given. And it developed, and I kept creating and kept creating. My parents were like, well, we'll see where this goes. And it ended up just being a part of my life, because it's funny, in the school system, like I did terribly. Like people said, well, I actually had like a learning disability, they said, and I couldn't focus. I couldn't do things at school. I couldn't read, write, or do math, and only athletics and art were keeping me in school pretty much. And I had the kinetic physicality to do phys ed really well and everything else. And then art was the the emotional side where I could release. So I'm very much like a ticking time bomb. So once I build up all this pent up energy, it's like I need to release it. And so art was always a thing for me. And then I fell in love with it in high school. One of my amazing mentor instructors, he showed me oil painting, and I fell in love with the history of it, the Italian Renaissance and the Baroque periods, things like that, the French Impressionism. And I just ran with it, and I ended up taking it in college, and now I'm a professional at it, and that transition from hockey to art was so crazy to me, because I knew I was a painter at such a young age, and I knew I was an artist. I was so scared because I knew it would be so hard to make it in this world. And that artists have a tough time in making it. And so once hockey was done, I was scared. I was really, honestly, and I'm not a fearful guy. Like I don't really get scared about anything, but I was fearful that I would not make it in this life. I'd be on the streets, homeless, or just having a really tough time at life. And like, whether it was, again, another downward spiral, but it just seems like God is just, whatever he's doing with art is just keeps going, right? It's not failing. And I'm like, okay, so lo and behold, you always knew that I was meant to do this, and I just ran from it. So, and yeah, he pretty much, one day in New York, I was doing like these summer courses, and I was preparing for hockey to go to pro, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to give you 1 year. And I heard that really, really loudly. I'm like, yeah, right. Like,
how did you hear that? I'm just so curious. Like, how did you know? Was that like in your spirit? Did you hear an audible voice?
It was like a thought and a voice in my head. It was like, I'm going to give you 1 year. And then nobody was around. And then you could feel like the calmness about it. Like it was a confirmation.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, okay, so he's giving me 1 year. And I was like, yeah, right. No way. And yet it was 1 year.
Wow.
So it ended up being one season of hockey, which is like 10 months, and that's it. So it was like, and it was so tough to let go of that, because you're grieving something you've put so much blood, sweat, and tears in for 26 years.
Yeah.
And you're like, and it's done like that. Like, and it was so tough. And yet now painting, it's like, okay, at least I have something else.
Right.
But I was truly just scared of like, am I going to make it in this world as a painter?
Yeah.
Because I knew that I couldn't do anything else, kind of thing. Like, like, oh my goodness, I can't work at a bank. I can't do all these things. And
you could, but it wouldn't really make you come alive.
No. And then so I kind of just told myself, well, burn the ships. And in history, in the Vikings, like what they do is they burn the ships, because it was like, you either die or like there's no retreat, right? You either go fully in and you succeed, or you fail. And so I told myself that's what I'm going to do with art. And well, he's helped me. So, with this, so it's kind of crazy.
Wow. Okay. We have more questions for you, Mike. A lot of people are like doing a lot of things on these comments. So let me give people some shout outs here, because I see you and I love you guys. V, what's up? Happy newlywedness, V. Sarah Gonzalez, you are on probation from asking crazy questions. So you're not going to ask Mike any crazy questions. I see. Who else is on here? Becca. Hi, Becca. Lori Brothers. Hello. Sonia. So you are in Toronto. So yeah, you and your husband should like find out what church. We'll find out what church maybe Mike goes to. Nobody stalk him. Please don't stalk him. But maybe afterwards. Maybe I'll tell you after the thing, what church he goes to, or where you guys can find him. Ursula. Bama. Hello, Mr. Bama. Thanks for joining us. Oh gosh. Candace. Hello. Janice, hello, Janice. If I left you guys out, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to skim through some of these questions that you guys have. Becca, can you remind me of the name of your daughter again so Mike can give her a shout out? Becca's daughter is an aspiring painter. And so
Okay.
we thought it would be really special if you just kind of gave her an
Yeah.
encouraging word before
Right.
this is all over. Ursula asks, what piece of advice would you give a parent that has an artistic child but doesn't want their child to pursue art because it doesn't pay well? I think we were just
Yeah. I would actually debate / kibosh that thought.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not playing with y'all today.
Yeah. If that kid has the ability to do something with it, and if it's, say, God ordained or God created or God gifted, let him do it or let her do it, because who knows what will come of that, and the potential to flourish in something. And it might not be art, it might be in a craft, but they love to do it. It feeds their soul. And you might not make like lawyer money, but that person will be truly the most happiest they'll ever be because they're doing what they love. And again, I've chased money through hockey, I've chased money through art, and it does not work. And you have to change your mindset, and you have to do it because you love to do it, right? Not creating for money, it's creating because you love to actually want to get better and pursue and finish these paintings. So for that advice, I would say this, for this young person that has so much potential, like, he or she is gifted in that sense, and they could make the next book, right? It doesn't have to be art and necessarily painting, but it could be anything creative that way. And who knows where it's going to go? They might end up being an amazing app designer, and they make millions because they've created something so cool. Like, the potential is crazy at a young age. So
you're saying basically don't be ruled by fear, but be ruled by faith and to step out.
Yeah. And if they go to that path, then let them go. But if they just do it as a hobby, then that's their creative outlet, and they'll find something else. But I wouldn't stop a kid from seeing what it is, right? If I had a son or daughter and I'm going to put them in hockey or big, tough, fighting kind of thing, because I know my warrior spirit. But if they end up being like a ballet dancer, I'm going to have to suck up my pride and go, yeah, that's what they want to do. It's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think you're a little passionate about this, Mike.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your passion, man. You better come with that fire, dog. Come with that fire. Becca's daughter is watching this interview, and her name is Carmen. Okay. And Carmen is a painter. She's that question wasn't pertaining to her, by the way, and that was not Becca asking that question. Yeah. But if I'll give you some time, I'm not going to put you on the spot right now, but if God gives you anything, in terms of a word of encouragement, I'm big on the prophetic. I'm big on words of wisdom, words of knowledge. And so if God gives you anything for Carmen, I'll check back in with you on that towards the end of this interview. We have about
wrote her name down just so that.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
We have about 15 or 20 more minutes, guys. And so thank you just for saying hello, what's up, and just being encouraging. There's a lot of people, Mike, that are just saying basically yes and amen to what you were saying and are loving your encouragement. I'm going to ask you just like basic, but this sounds so simple, but like, why do you love God? Like, why?
Oh, wow. I love God because of what he's brought me out of. He has turned my life around because I thought I was a freak. I thought I was no good. People have told me numerous things, family members, friends. I felt like a reject. And those things were hard. And he has taken that all away. And I think that's why I love him, and to be a brother, father figure, or a friend of some sort. And it's such a, that's such a tough question, but it's such, that's, yeah. I love him because he saved me from what I was going towards. I was
Mhm.
essentially going in not a good place, and he's freed me from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big deal. I
Yeah.
always like to check in with people, especially people that call themselves Christians, because it's like, but why? Like, there's
Yeah.
plenty of people that don't believe, and you and I
Hmm.
both probably have friends that don't believe, and friends that do. But like for the friends that do, I'm just like, but what keeps us? Because it gets hard. It's not,
Yeah.
just because you're Christian doesn't mean everything is like,
You might love God this minute, and then in 5 minutes something happens. You hate him. Like it's
yeah,
such
you're just like,
a,
why?
yeah, it's such a crazy life journey with him, but it's worth it, you know. And I
I want to
wouldn't.
know, how do you talked about like you had this very intense season where you lost so many best friends, like whether it was suicide,
Yeah.
a freak accident.
Yeah.
Like I can't even fully, like I can't fully wrap my
Yeah.
mind around like how much death you saw in such a short
Yeah.
period of time.
Yeah.
Um, like to me, that's like just the miracle of God in your life that
Hmm.
you were able to walk through that and process that
Yeah.
with someone. But like, how do you currently process death while experiencing the life of God? Like
Mhm.
how does that work?
Yeah. Now I accept it, knowing that there's like an afterlife, like where I know those people are going to a safe place.
Mhm.
It's not, again, it is maybe my job to do it before they die. But again, I think it's his job, like to have that relationship with them when they take their last breath.
Mhm.
Um, I know with Walter, one of my best friends, he knew God, right? He knew him on a personal level. And that's why he just said, like, let me go. Like, it's my time. And
Wow.
whatever he saw, he didn't want to come back here. And that makes a huge inclining in my thinking. Like the fact that you thought this world was cool, and yet he does not want to be here, but he wants to be somewhere else. Like, so
Oof.
yeah, me dealing with death, I usually go in. Everyone kind of swallows into themselves, and usually it's a process to cry it out in
Mhm.
your alone times or whatever. But to actually talk about it, I know this last year God has put me in a position of putting doing the groundwork and actually going to therapy and talking about some abuse and
Yes.
therapeutic things. I had to go through the PTSD, like trauma
Yeah.
therapy, and to get through these things. Like I'm going to be really open and truthful here. I was abused, um, kind of rejected almost in hockey because I was such a sensitive kid. And then throughout um, junior A, like these men and these boys are trying to figure out their pecking order, and it was a
Mhm.
hard time. And even high school was a hard time for me. And then I had a mentor, and I, I was I was drugged for 2.5 years and molested,
Mhm.
and then my 5 friends died, and I was trying to process this all, and to know that I had to work through that, like this last year, like God's been working these 10 past year, like almost 10 years of my past, and like get it out of me.
Wow.
And we had to do a lot of work together. And yeah, and I went back to it, like drinking a bit, and because it's painful, to pull those things out of you. Like, and he
Mhm.
really knows, like he knows that you're going to get through it. You're strong enough. every breath you take on this earth, that means you're fighting.
Mm.
And he gets it. He's gone through the pain. It's just as much as you. So
Oof.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry to be real with you.
No,
That's
never say sorry for being real. Not
that's just who I am, and I can't deny that. So
let's here for it. Not
yeah.
afraid of it. Here
Yeah.
for it all the way. We love that. We appreciate that. We need more voices that will be brave like you
Mhm.
and say the hard stuff. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like I may be called to do this more often, and often than not to actually say it only takes one person to put the groundwork in for others to heal. So
listen, you better preach that,
yeah.
Pastor Mike. Okay. All right, buddy. We see
So
you. Which, that was another question that I was going to ask. Like, do you actually like mentor anyone in your life? Because we talked about the power of mentorship.
yeah, I've tried to help out my cousins that way. I'm just starting to do mentor with a girl here. She's an artist as well, and she's working on some really cool projects. So I'm just starting to do the mentor thing. I feel like I don't have the ability, but maybe I do now. I don't know. I've lived a wild life, so I could probably share some of my experiences with some kids and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think you can
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I just know people are going to want more of that especially
yeah,
after they see this interview and this kind
yeah,
of comes out.
yeah,
Can you mentor me? And I mean,
yeah.
in the artistic like area of your life, but also like spiritually, because I feel like you are a well of wisdom,
Mhm.
and they like this generation needs the wisdom that you have lived through and that God is kind of walked you through, not kind of, that God has totally walked with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And before I move on to my last couple of questions, I'm kind of sad, Mike.
No, we can keep going. Just kind of keep going. We'll roll with this.
Okay,
Yeah,
quarantine time. Nobody's got anything to do, everybody. Just
yeah.
like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Well, I won't go, I want to honor your time, so we won't go too
No,
late, but
no.
we'll keep
Yeah,
it.
8:30, 9. Who, whatever.
Okay. All right, you let me know, seriously. Okay, so I want to give some shout outs to people. They've just been so kind. Bama/Nicholas. I didn't even know that was your real name, by the way. Bama/Nicholas. But yeah, he loved like don't be ruled by fear, but be ruled by faith. And then Ursula and Sonia, thank you for just chiming in. Ursula says, I have the privilege of she's had the privilege of being with someone they love when they took their last breath.
Yeah.
Do you feel this experience influences your art and even your outlook on life, and then how, which you kind of touched on that a little bit, but kind of
Yeah.
does that, I don't know how
Yeah.
to, yeah.
I've actually seen that too as well. Someone taking their last breath, like even though it's in like my grandma, like, and it's to see that like eerie yet beautiful calmness about it. It does change you, and you do hold it in, and then in art you do release it, or whatever passion you do, like if it's fencing, boxing, uh video gaming, who knows what these
Yeah.
people have passions about. In gardening, you'll take it out on that. And I know we're meant to create and craft these things, and people will release them in time. It's got to be their time, right? And work it out in their own timing. Like I can't, you can't have like something tragic happen the next day, like, you paint it out. Like, you have to process this, you have to think about it, and when your heart and your mind are ready to like let it go, and with the help of God, it will come out. So
I think you answered that beautifully. Sonia says, wow, your truth is truly fearless. Walking with God with no blinders on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Good. Thanks. Thank you.
And Becca says that, I don't know if you wanted me to read this out loud, Becca, sorry, but it's out loud. She said she checked/creeped his page, your page. His art is amazing and so beautiful. Yeah, that's what we all do. Like we creep/research.
Yeah.
Like y'all know how we do.
It's I think it's research. I don't even know why people say creep. It's more like, like look upon. Like it's just like, this is who you are, or this is what you do. Okay. I don't know what the creeping is all about, but
I mean, maybe like we're all feeling convicted, like our motives may be mixed at certain times.
Creeping is like if you want to, be with that person, I think. Like that kind of,
Well, listen.
You do your research upon them, right?
Which leads me to, I'm asking this for the 20-somethings out there. I know they want to know, are you single? Are you in a relationship?
Yeah.
Throwing that in
No,
there.
I am single. I think God has taken me through some really crazy times with this, some isolation, some blinders on. I've never had the blinders on before until like this year. So it's been really cool just to kind of work it out with him.
Awesome.
Again, I've talked about this, and there's a bunch of times I've tried to date, or I've tried to go on dates or do things with somebody, and they just don't work out. And I know there's someone special out there for me. I just don't know who it is. And I think it's going to be his timing, because the fact that I've tried to rush everything, and in my life, he's kind of going, no, like, let me do it,
Listen.
And so like, I'll know when, whoever she steps into my life, again, it could be at a gas station. It could be somewhere really random. I just don't know. I could be in Paris. I could be in LA. I could be, I don't know. It's going to be, I'm just single, and I'm kind of riding this wave of like, in an artist's life, you kind of have to be, single, and that's your girlfriend, apparently, like art and your passion. So I think when God's ready with me, he'll do something.
Man, all this maturity that you have and this wisdom, like I know it came with a price and a cost, but man, you have such wisdom. Can you, from your past experiences and relationships, and now you, from what I'm hearing, is that you really want to do it God's way. Like you really want it to be sort of like God, sort of ordained. Give us maybe like 2 nuggets of some relationship advice that maybe the Lord has revealed to you in this season of like waiting, or missing the mark a little bit. And then like, I don't know, give those that are maybe wanting, or are also feeling antsy, they're feeling like maybe I should be married now because I'm 22 and I'm not married or whatever. What's some advice?
I think our perception on marriage and stuff as Christians, like, I think it has to do with our natural ability to be so physical. So with, and honestly, the social media thing too, like you're always looking around like, oh, those people are together or whatever. And even our past of where we lie in our movies, like Disney has corrupted us with this, you're a prince fighting for a damsel in distress, and you got to slay that dragon to win her, and it leaves happily ever after. And most women and men think like that. And don't get me wrong, that's really cool, and maybe we're built like that too. But the fact that like, oh, like now that I'm attractive looking and I've got some things together, I should be married or with somebody right now. It doesn't work like that. I'm almost 30, and I thought I was going to be with somebody, and it just didn't work out. And you have to be okay with that, because at the end of the day, it's just you and God. You need to have that relationship together first in order for it to actually work, as a Trinity. So And then together, like the more closer you two are with God, the more it will work. But if like, if it's off scale, then, something's not right. Like, and yeah, I find that dating is very hard. It's difficult. There's your 5-year plan is different from their 5-year plan.
Come on, preach.
And most most people live in a fantasy land of like, I need to have this marriage thing happen.
Wow.
And sometimes God will not let that happen until you are ready. And it might be till you're 45. And I actually am completely okay with something if I need to, like, if it's 49 and I find that woman, then that's it. But I've pursued my passion to the fullest.
Listen. Yeah, I know my people are just like laughing right now. And you're just, yes, and amen.
Right.
That's just super encouraging.
Yeah. And it's tough. Like the everyday life of like, it's tough to, you see somebody with their walking with their hands together and you see it and you actually have to allow yourself to accept it and go, oh, I wish I really had that. But take that moment and then that's it. You move on. You're like, no, I'm happy being single. I need to work on some crap with God, because the more of venom you have in the toxicity you have inside of your past, you think you want to bring that into a relationship right now, like, and the other person too. Like they might have more, they might have less, and your stuff is different from their stuff. So why would you bring that into the relationship? Why don't you take the time to actually be alone, to work on yourself, and then get it out and be with somebody?
Okay, Pastor Mike, fine. Okay, I'm going to go get my life together. Dang, man. Okay, fine. Get off my back. Ah!
Yeah. All right.
Dang. Okay, that's good. No, that's...
You're a therapist. I don't know.
Super legit. No, you're spitting like some serious bars here, and we're here for it. Yeah, that was just... That's good. I like, one of the things that encourages me is like hearing, and I know you've probably heard this too, but like be running your race at like full speed. And then basically as you're running your race at full speed, look to your right or your left and see who's still there, basically. And the Lord obviously knows exactly what you need and what you want, even more than what we think we need and what we want. And so I've learned also through trial and error, it's just worth it to wait on God's best. Honestly. I mean, I just turned 40, like 40. And so I'm just like, yeah,
I thought you were my age. Like,
nah, son, but black don't crack. Just gonna tell everybody. But thank you. But like, I've had to like wrestle that out, like in a real way with the Lord. Cause I was like, yo, my timeline, like this, what? And as a woman, it feels a little bit more heavy in certain ways. It's like babies, like I wanted 10 of them. What's going on? But at the same time, like I trust the goodness of God. Like I trust his character. And I feel like was something I wrote on like my prayer board this year was, especially as I was reading this book called Imagine Heaven that I told you about earlier, was like, Jesus, you are the prize. Like being married is not the ultimate prize. Like making millions of dollars is not the ultimate prize. The more I learn about this man, Jesus, like really, like for real, like, and get that word inside of me, I'm like, you are the prize of heaven. Like you are it. And it's not like some like stuff I'm just trying to like pump myself up to like believe like, oh, so I don't get like 20 cats and I'm going to be fine. But like, yo, it's becoming a reality to me like never before. So anyway.
And sometimes you have to say like, Jesus, you are enough. And then to feel completely okay with it. And once you internally feel like your soul is just completely okay with being alone with him, I think then he'll give you somebody. Like he'll show them to you. And it might take a while.
Listen, let them know it might not happen tomorrow.
It's the 20 age needs to be restructured, where we think we need to get married, where I think we need to work out our crap from high school and stuff. And then the 30s, 30s and 40s, we kind of go, okay, let's get on the, the healing and the marriage side of that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I concur. Absolutely agree. That was like a big thing that I did for myself in my 20s and in my 30s was a lot of inner healing work, like a ton, which I'm a big, like, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm about that life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're going to round it down a little bit. Let's see. We talked a little bit about, identity. I feel like I want to talk about identity. And the reason why I'm going to see if I can do some technological things and show your, oh gosh. Oh, Mike, here we go. Let's see if I can actually do this. Okay, share. Right, let me open up this painting of yours.
Like that chip painting? You want me to bring it over? Or
oh no. This, I want to see if I'm going to crash and burn if I do this. Hang on one second. Let's see. Oh, I think I can do it. Let's share that. Can you see it?
Yes. Okay. Yep. You can see it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Can you talk to us about this painting?
Yeah.
It's incredible, by the way.
Yeah. Let me pull the definition up so I don't forget to. So yeah, I was creating this painting and I just had this huge like inclining to create some graffiti / quotes in the Bible, and then put like this, like David, obviously, the Michelangelo's David, and then King and stuff like that. And then the red blood is like him, like battling like 10,000 warriors that he's slain and things like that. And it's modern, yet I wanted to make it a little classical as well. And so I got to donate this piece to a women's shelter here in Durham, so just outside of Toronto.
Oh, nice.
And it's sold to help them out. And I was really fortunate enough to, the one thing that came to me is just like how to overcome your fears and be like to be loved. I think that's what we're truly on this earth for, is to actually be appreciated, like agape love, like all encompassing love. We're not that we're selfish in it, but we are just respected. And I think that's, instead of this romantic fantasy of love, we need to be respected. And I think to like, because people are broken, right? Like we abuse that all the time. And it's unfortunate because our lineage of brokenness, we create more brokenness. And I want to be a big groundbreaker to break that. If that makes sense. Breaker to break it. Yeah. So this is the triumph, it's called. So I wanted people to triumph over their fears. I wanted them to overcome themselves, but also forgive themselves as well. Many people don't allow themselves to forgive others, but also themselves from what they went through, whether it's abuse, trauma, things like that. And we never really accept it. We just like bury it. We hide it in a jar. I like a beautiful quote that my grandfather had was, venom does more harm to the vessel it's contained in than it's directed at. So I need to express that. Like I need to show people like, hey, like whatever's hurting inside you, like let Jesus take that and let him take the venom, unfortunately. And that's what he's gone on the cross for. Is it's not, people say, oh, it's your burdens and sins and stuff. And that seems just redundant. I want them to realize like it's your pain and it's your like it's the crap that you have inside of you. That's what he's taking.
Mm. Wow.
And he wants to take it for you. But you also have to allow him to take it.
Ooh, that part.
So
that part.
I just feel like this was like a huge groundbreaking painting for me as a triumph to get over my stuff. And that this was like the end of that era that I had to do all the PTSD work and stuff. So this was like it. Yeah.
So good, Mike. Oh my gosh. I mean, you guys, there's a ton of comments coming in. They love this piece. They love the story behind it even more as you're sharing. Carmen says amen with an exclamation point. Yeah, if you go to his page, Mike, you have two pages, by the way, two Facebook pages. One is like Michael Will's art, and then one is like no spaces, Michael Will's art. And I'm like, I don't know which one is for real.
Yeah, no, they're both mine. I've created them, and somehow Facebook did something and split them. I don't know why, but they're both mine. I still post on both, and yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because you guys can look at this in the description. I think you guys can kind of see the description on your screen as I'm looking at this on Facebook. And Bama, yes, I see your comment. You said absolutely. He died for so much more than just our sins. Great point. Yeah, guys. Yes. Ursula says yes. Yeah, there's so much in that description. We can't get into that now. Maybe we'll have another conversation months from now and revisit this, because there's so much goodness in this. Okay, so I'm going to unshare that one, and I'm going to share one more that I really love. Let's see how this works out, guy. Stop share that. Okay, and now let's see if I can share this other one. Can you see it?
Oh, yes. Okay.
I did it. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited about. Hi, Mandy.
Yeah.
Mandy. Oh, love you.
That's the good one, yeah.
Man, this is the one. Okay, so this is like, I didn't know you from Adam, like at all, like nothing about you. And this, like you standing next to this was somehow in my, whatever that discovery page is or whatever that mess is on Instagram, like the one where it sends you like random, whatever. Anyway, this, you standing next to this or like a portion of this or whatever came up. And I was like, yo, what? There's life on that. What is that? And water's been speaking a lot to me in this season for a variety of reasons. But did you paint this in Paris or what?
No, actually, so there's two of them. You've got the green one. There's the blue one. I don't know if you got the blue, like the blue one's the one you want, I think.
Oh, wait, is that the one in your studio right now? Is that
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So do you want me to turn to it or?
Yes, please.
Okay. 1 sec. Let's see. Actually, I can bring it behind me.
Okay. I love you.
Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna walk away.
Well, they're used to it. They're used to me being.
Yeah.
Well, you're fine. Oh my God! Isn't this interview so much fun, you guys? I don't know if you guys can hear me or see me.
Can you see that at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the. Let's see if I can light it up a bit.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the blue one. It just has a lot of power to it.
Come on.
So it was kind of funny. I created the background right before Paris, and it was all the blues and the sweetness to it. And I was thinking of like, how the whole Bible is completely on storms and trials.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. So, yes.
Accurate. Yeah. Most of the things that I love about it is like, you've got Moses, parting the seas with God. And that's what I thought of when I thought of this work.
Wow.
And then you've got like Jonah and the whale. Like there's just been so many battles too. Even like when Jesus is sleeping on with the disciples. And
yes, it's one of my favorites.
And I love romantic things like that,
Yeah.
because history of paintings and stuff. So
Yeah.
um, I wanted to create like such a romantic piece that it's deadly, but there is some beauty in it. Like
Yeah.
I find uh, something so drastic, and it looks like it's almost about to just die, but yet
Yeah.
it's a hope of survival somewhere. So yeah, and I think the gold really like captured just some other tones and some, I don't know, it gave it some life to the blues and the whites. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, people are freaking out. They love this so much. They're looking at it. I finally made your screen bigger so they
Yeah,
can see.
for sure. I can
Uh,
pull it a bit closer if that helps.
let me see if I can get rid of my face for a hot second. They don't need to see me.
And it's like I created the background and I came back with all this inspiration from all the paintings in Paris and studying them in school and then actually seeing them in real life was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And wanting to do like these romantic, they have a lot of ship paintings there, which I love.
Okay.
So I wanted to create something like that. And this blue is so like vibrant. It's very like fiery.
Yes.
I create a bit more
Come on.
of these kind of series, and maybe become more biblical too. Like I don't know. Like so, yeah. It's yeah. Once like like a piece hits and it hits well, it's something like this, right? And you've taken the time and the love and the care to do it. So
yeah, you guys have to see. I mean, I know it's not like seeing it in person because there's like a whole nother layer, I think, to the life that's in that painting in person. But like if you guys see it on Instagram, he's a big deal on Instagram. I can't believe he's doing this interview with me, like honestly. But if you go to his Instagram page, which will tell you how you can stalk / creep / research Mike Wills online, but he's got this painting and you can see it on his Instagram page and his Facebook page too. If anyone wants to buy this for me, just let me know. Okay. Whoopsies. So anyway, wow, Mike, this has been so incredible. I can't believe you let me talk to you and share like your story for like an hour. I am ending this little series of video interviews that I'm doing.
Okay.
With, basically, my very last question for you. I had like a ton more, but we're just gonna say that for the next time we get to chat and hang out online because we got more questions.
In a couple of weeks or so.
Yes. Yes. You heard it here first, everybody. In a couple of weeks, we'll be back. We'll do this again. And oh my gosh, hey Instagram, y'all just got real lit. I'm about to wrap this up though. So, hi Denise, hi Ashley, hi 661 Party Rentals. Okay. You guys, if you want to catch this interview, it will be available on Facebook on my Patrice Patrick, my real name, my Facebook page. You can see this was so good, you guys. This one was so good. But the last question that I ask Mike people is, what's on your playlist? Like, tell me three songs that you're listening to on your playlist.
Now. Okay.
Today, now.
Right now. So I'm into, so I've got Graves into Gardens by Elevation. That's the church I go to actually here in Toronto. Elevation. Okay. Yeah.
All right, everyone. You heard it.
It's the satellite church. Yeah. I would have to say the other ones would be, I do love all kinds of music, classical to screamo to rock and roll to everything country. So I'm really into, it's called The White Buffalo right now. He's got a song called The Woods. Really cool. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. I'm a big music person, so
yeah, he's got this like raspy voice of like Chris Stapleton kind of, but more like grungy. Like it's some of his stuff is on Sons of Anarchy. I don't know if you know.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some of the music's from him.
Okay.
And then Foy, I don't know if you've heard of Foy Vance.
No, wait.
Yeah.
No.
Very, very like blues yet bluegrass, but he's also like Scottish Irish. He actually wrote the song called "Make It Rain" for Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
So he's actually Ed Sheeran's writer. So Foy Vance, yeah, really cool guy. His live music on his CD is hilarious because it's just him making jokes. Yes. Oh yeah, he's a really cool, unique guy. Yeah.
I love it. Bama, who Nicholas, I can't call you Nicholas. I just have to call you Bama because that's how I met you. But he says he loves the White Buffalo. So I'm going to, after this interview, I'm going to go and listen to the White Buffalo. And I know Bama because I country line dance, and that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
So country music for me a lot, and then hip hop, R&B, soul, blues, a lot of jazz, a lot of all the things, and then of course anointed worship music of all kinds. So I feel you.
Hey, you're allowed to listen to those type, like different genres, right? God created it all, kind of thing. So it's music feeds the soul.
I think so, at least for me. Well, Mike, I just want to thank you for taking the time to hang out with us for a little bit on a Wednesday.
Yeah, no.
What time is it where you are? What time is it now?
8, 8:15, so 8:12, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you guys, for those that didn't catch the beginning of this interview, he's in Toronto, Canada. Yeah. Okay. Your girl cannot believe like we made this work across the coast.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally in shock that this actually worked. I can't even believe it. And then I will leave links. Sorry, Becca, I almost forgot. So for Becca's daughter, Carmen, did the Lord give you anything, or is there anything that you want to say to encourage her on her artist journey?
And she is a painter, or she deals with drawings, or?
Becca, can you clarify? Is she a painter? Does she draw? Does she sketch? Can you just let us know right quick? I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll wait a little bit until you. I'm going to be okay with silence. I'm just going to. Oh, okay. It feels too awkward. Okay, just kidding. Let me stop. I'm just going to not say anything.
I would say for Carmen, so I think the Lord uses the work of your hands. And I think for her, she needs to create more with her hands. And I would say allow him to be the guide, though. Most people want to control things, and I think for her, if she truly has this passion and he feels that, he wants this for her. So like trust in him that when you're creating, like that he will guide your hand. And so it might get greasy to the point where your hands are tough or just hurting and stuff like that. But if you've put in the work and you've put in the hours, then he will gift that. As you can see, this wasn't just a thing of like, this was created in a day. It took 10, 12 years to get to this point.
Oh, come on.
So, and then through the blood, sweat, and tears. But if you let him guide your hand, like Carmen, then definitely that'll happen.
That's a good word, Mike. That's a good word. And and Becca said she's 14 and she is mostly painting.
Perfect.
In this season of her life. And so, Becca, and Carmen, we bless you, and we bless you in the discovery of it. And Becca says, nailed it perfectly. This is how you know when God speaks through you. Mike, I could feel like some Holy Spirit just on that. So, all right. I just I don't want to end this, but I have to. So you guys know how I do endings. They're always awkward and just whatever. But Mike, I'm going to make you hang up first.
Okay. All right, cool.
So you have to leave first.
All right.
And
Bye, guys. It was nice talking to you. Thank you again, Patrice. I appreciate you having me on here. So.
Thank you, Mike.
All right.
We'll do this in 2 weeks.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
How do I hang up now?
See?
There we go. Yeah. Okay. See you guys.
Okay. Bye.